Now I want to talk about real world assets. For example, a car, a painting, So here is where a concept called real world tokenization comes in. Give us the simplest definition for that and how it works.
Now just imagine we're going to take a real world asset and take the properties of that asset and bring it into the digital world. So we'll have the legal form of that, the asset representation, the ownership. So we're going to take the digital properties of any physical asset and bring it on chain. You can think of that as a bit of a transition, that at some point those assets will naturally reside on chain. But in the initial instance, we have a bunch of physical assets around us that we would like represented on chain, see the efficiency benefits of moving them around, of selling them, of buying them. It's just taking that physical representation and bringing it into digital form onto the blockchain.
Correct.
Much the way a natively digital asset is born, this one will be migrating into the digital
But tell us,
world.
what is the need for it? As a consumer, I can just go see it in person, purchase it. What difference will it make in the life of a consumer?
The easiest way to start with this is think of the most successful asset that's migrated from physical to the digital world, and that's digital dollars.
Okay.
Let's say the entire universe of tokenized assets is, call it 180 billion, so it's tiny. Of that 180 billion, 165 billion is stablecoin. So when we're talking about assets that have migrated from that physical world, or in this case, fiat currency, into the digital world, it's largely stable. What's the value of that stablecoin? Its velocity, the speed that it moves around, is just way faster than cash. Just the number of times it moves per transactions in digital form is about 30 times more than in physical fiat form.
Wow.
So now think about what that means as a cash holder. I need to hold less cash. Okay. Now, why? Because when I send you my digital dollar, it clears instantly and finally at any point in time with no intermediation.
Right.
Dollars, I have to go find you, I have to deliver it, or I have to use a bank, and then the bank's open, the bank's not
and
open.
Banks also have a time, right? They could take a couple of days, especially if the dollar amount
and
is large.
And their dollar amount limits and whatever it may be. The efficiency improvement. Now think of who's most attracted to that efficiency improvement. Somebody who wants to hold as little dollars as possible, right? So traders. So what are they right now? Why is the velocity so high? It's moving around as collateral. So I'm trading a bunch of Bitcoin on a levered basis. I have to collateralize that. I'm going to collateralize it with dollar stablecoin with as little as possible, because I want to keep as much cash as I can to do other things. And then when there's a margin call, I can meet that margin call instantaneously. So the speed of execution is super important.
Right.
So then you build from that to other assets. Now, what I think will happen with other assets, it's still too early. Yeah. So people don't really know what to do with a digitally native asset. We're still learning.
Yeah.
You're going to start probably with payments and then build to other areas. So everything else to me is experimentation. We're just seeing how it goes. Primary use case that I would emphasize to demonstrate its value is the tokenization of the dollar.